I'm on the banks of the river, the Motueka River in Nenate Moti. I used to live down that way, just over there, for 2 years or 2 summers, to the end of 2 summers and the beginning of 2 autumns. I lived at some property down that way, the Peninsula Shack, with a woman called Jenny for the season, who became we became lovers for about almost. How long were we together for? Almost 6-7 months. And then the year after that, I lived with a woman called Trish, way down the end, 1996-97, towards Ngāti Moti itself. And it was the last year of my living in this Te Waipuna on the South Island before I went overseas for 7 years. And came back in 2002. And I want to talk about, and interestingly enough, that correlates to what I want to talk about today, which is coming to terms and seeing your behavior in other people in regards to you experiencing that what you dished out, your karma coming back to you, and your mirror being somebody else, and you experiencing what you gave to somebody else, and then you recognizing your own behavior in somebody else who's enacting their behavior towards you, and you having the choice to make better choices in regards to you having the choice to be able to make a more calm and more balanced choice in regards to the face of being put through your own words, actions and deeds, because you can recognize them, because these are the behavioral traits that you once had, but you've moved through them, you've processed them, you've healed these traumas, you've healed these wounds, and now you choose to act differently. I had a whirlwind romance for about 7-8 days with someone, a beautiful woman who was Scottish Chinese. I met her before Spirit Fest South. I actually met her at Resolution Festival 2023-2024 on the Kaipara Harbour through a mutual friend. And then we had a moment together in the Wellington region, a place called Judgeford. We went in the forest to a place called Tane's Track, in the forest itself. I can't remember the name of the Te Marua forest, that's what it's called. We had a moment together there and we bonded and we had a beautiful connection, and from there it grew into something quite beautiful and intimate for 7-8 days. We travelled together for 7 days. In the festival and outside the festival we travelled together and spent time together and grew and got to know each other very, very well. Went through our processes, had some intense healing work with each other, and recognised in each other and ourselves the work that we needed to do in order to move forward in our connection, but also in our lives. But on the last day we were together, it became obvious to both of us, I feel, I'm not assuming here, but I'm only looking at the nature of how the day ended, that we had more work to do and that we didn't have enough time to move through that process. So what happened for me in my experience was I was faced with behaviour that I once upon a time enacted upon my partners and my loved ones. And that is, I acted in a way in the past, if someone got close to me, my fear of intimacy, my fear of being hurt, and my fear of getting close to someone due to the nature of my idea what love was, due to my childhood upbringing, I would push them away and self-sabotage my connection to that individual, and my sabotage would come through in a way that I would push them away violently, with the anger, with the disassociation to that connection. And even though my partners loved me and adored me and got me and saw me, I would act in a way that I would push them away regardless of all those traits that I wanted to experience. I wanted to be seen, I wanted to be heard, I wanted to be held. Despite that truth and living that truth and experiencing that truth, the fear was just too overwhelming for me, and I would protect myself by pushing my partners away from me in a way that was often violent in my use of language, my context of language. And it would come out of the blue because the fear was just too intense, and I would allow my pain body to rise up. And what would happen next is I would just become outrageously, not violent in a physical sense, but in a verbal sense, in a context sense. The words that would come out of my mouth, I would find a way to sabotage the experience and break up. I'm not saying that's what happened for me, but that's my perception of what I experienced. I was on the receiving end of the same experience that I was dishing out for so many years. And I was on the receiving end of it. I was quite calm in my perception of what happened to me. I adore and love this woman still. There's no animosity from me whatsoever in the situation, because I recognize the behavior, and from her as me, and me as her. So I recognize the behavior, so I have no animosity towards her at all, but I see it, I've experienced it, and it's helped me to understand myself better, helped me to grow through my processes and have a deeper connection with myself, and also understand the nature of that. This is how it's working. As we go into the ascending Dwapa cycle, my perception, in the Sri Yukteswar vision of the Dwapas, of the side of the Yugas, I do see that everything's speeding up, especially now in January 2024. I see it's energetically speeding up, and I'm beginning to experience that which is aligning me to be able to understand what it was like to have that experience and be the creator of that experience for somebody else. And it's helped me to grow immensely, helped me to understand myself, helped me to see that, hey, I've made better decisions. And one of the last things I said to her before I took her to Picton on the top of the South Island to get a ferry the next day to go back to Wellington and off to do her work, was we always have the choice to make better choices, whatever that means to us. Because I asked her quite openly what she wanted to do, and she had no idea, and I gave her the offer. Do you want me to take you to Picton from where we were? We were camping for the night somewhere near Picton, about 25 minutes, half an hour's drive from Picton. We were camping in my van. And when she had this violent outburst at me, I was kind of confused, but also I didn't feel safe in my boundaries. So I made it quite clear that I didn't feel safe in a way that I felt like I needed to. And then eventually, as we were driving to Picton, I told her, I asked her if she felt safe, and then she said, are you projecting onto me? To which I said to her, no, I don't feel safe in the situation. Therefore, I asked you the question, do you want me to take you to Picton? I didn't elaborate on the fact that I didn't feel safe until I got in the van, because I explained that to her because I was in shock of the nature of her eruption towards me in that violent context way, her violent use of language. We're very different people, her and I, in many ways. In other ways, we definitely have an alignment with each other. And that's just life, right? You understand this. For me, the most important aspect of the situation was that I saw myself in her, and I also responded to her in a way that was very calm. And my first question was to her, do you want me to take you to Picton and drop you off at a hotel or somewhere to stay so you can have time to yourself, right? And her immediate response was yes. So I honoured that response, and then she asked me to drive into Picton. Why did you ask me that question first? To which I elaborated on, I didn't feel safe, and therefore I wanted to have the space away from you so I could feel safe and also go through my processes. And whatever that looks like moving forward from here in regards to our connection, my heart is open. But I remained calm in a situation where before in the past I would have acted back violently towards her and angrily towards her. I didn't want to be angry. There was no reason for me to feel justified anger in that situation. For me, I wanted to remain calm. I could have turned it around to her and said to her, why did you say yes when I asked you that question in the first place? When I asked you, why do you want me to take you to Picton? Why did you say yes? I never asked that question. I could have. I didn't ask at the time because literally I was in shock from what happened from the situation, what the woman that I interacted with in that moment when her anger came forth and showed me that part of myself that I had often dished out and I'd broken up and disconnected my connections with beautiful women throughout my entire life due to my trauma and my wounding and my lack of healing. I now saw that I was that individual, and she was showing me that part of myself that I had healed in myself. And it was a gift to me, a gift that I really appreciate that gift. It meant everything to me to have that gift and be shown to me. So thank you, Alia. Thank you for showing me this about myself, most importantly. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that allowed me to see myself in you. I really appreciate that. I love you and I adore you, and I mean that sincerely. I really do. And to you who are watching this video now, it's amazing how sometimes in our lifetimes we have the opportunity to see ourselves and other people as mirrors for us in regards to relationship, and that becomes our sadhana, our work. Our work, as Baba Ram Das says, our sadhana, our work becomes relationship, a spiritual practice. And for me, that is what it had become with Alia. It had become a spiritual practice. And this is how I move forward in regards to my relationships with all people. It now becomes a spiritual practice. Thank you, Baba Ram Das, and thank you for watching this video. And thank you, Alia. All my love your way. May my love be the wind beneath your wings as you continue to do your work around the world. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Mā te ua. I'll see you again soon.